My name is Oscar Cabrera, and I'm wanting to audition for The End Is Near. I'm going to go ahead and do the video audio response for the 6 questions that you guys had. Question number 1: what inspires you to be an actor? Um, there was this really cool time in high school. It was a stage play, there was a specific character, and the theater director wanted to cut, to shave down this huge monologue that wasn't PC for a high school in the first place. She wanted to get rid of all of it. I read this monologue. It was this amazing speech, pretty much given about how this soldier goes off to war, is changed, or is he? Comes back, and people don't accept him for what he's become. He has this, this servitude of defending these people. He comes back to these people, and these people don't want anything to do with him because he's more like dangerous. And his argument is that he was awakened, that what he is right at this moment is all of humanity. This idea of separating ourselves from our primitive side, King Kong, all of the whole workings and ideas of being civilized is really based off of this false assumption. For him, for this character, what he was human, and the aggression, the anger, the physical abuse that would come out of him would be equal to love. It was this really warped, twisted view on this character, but I mean, it made a lot of sense to me. And I mean, I could really get into it. And this teacher wanted to cut it, so I memorized the whole monologue. I did it, I performed it for her, I ripped my shirt, I was so passionate about it, and she kept it. Took out, of course, there was mentions of like sex and rape and all these things, but kept most of that. Besides that, and I got to do this monologue, and it was amazing. It was this amazing experience because it was one of the first times that, as an artist, I had choice in creating something, and I didn't know it at the time, but this was my voice, and I believed that this character, without this, monologue, was going to be flawed more so than what a natural character flaw would have. This was his being, and I stood behind it, and I kept it, and that moment alone has fueled me for the past, God, like 7 years. I've done a lot more work since then. Who are your biggest influences? Wes Anderson, Christopher Durang. Um, Both of them because of the kinds of characters that they create. More so for Wes Anderson. For Wes Anderson, the kind of characters that he creates with his movies are it's almost too much. It's these amazingly well thought of, like developed characters that say some of the most minuscule, unimportant things. Um, and I love that because so much of the character like comes out over the top over it. Just this simple text. Like if you were to read it, you'd just be like, well, "This is a boring ass conversation." But then you see Bill Murray and Clive Owen go, Owen Wilson go at it, and do this scene. You're just like, "Oh my god, that's amazing." Um, and then Christopher Durang because of the pace. Growing, as an artist in college, I did Baby with the Bathwater, and that really changed me as an artist. It gave me a lot of time through the course of the rehearsal to play and to understand the importance of pacing and for comic timing. But I mean, even then, like I've been able to apply the work I've learned from that to dramatic pieces. I mean, there's so much. It all boils down to trust, so that the audience trusts you, and that you're gonna take them on this ride. And I mean, that's super important. I think Christopher Durang does an amazing job of that, and I think Wes Anderson, the few scripts that he hasn't wrote or helped write himself, has done a really good job of being able to pick that, um, and showcase that. And I think that's a really important part of our artistry. Um, who is your favorite male actor? Gary Oldman, definitely, without a doubt. The guy is beyond amazing. I remember seeing him first in The Fifth Element, and I mean, I wasn't even really that serious about acting when I saw that movie, and I was just so blown away and just so captivated by what he was doing and his performance. just so it's so silly. It just seemed like one of those roles where it would just be absolutely fun to create, and because it was fun to create, it was just so genuine. Um, no one could have done it better than that. I really honestly believe. I mean, I'm sure there was probably someone, but I don't believe it would have happened. That's why it's Gary Oldman. um, yeah, I mean, and his ability also to, gosh, to not be a character actor, to not be labeled as a serious actor, to not be labeled, as the comic, the funny man. Just like this, he is a human. When you think of casting Gary Oldman, when you think of seeing him in a movie, it's not gonna be like Daniel Day Lewis, but it's gonna be like real. It's like some guy you meet on a subway. Little do you know that he's going off to trade ransom notes with someone or something to get his daughter back, but he has to play cool on the subway. Like that kind of thing. I feel like would be an amazing niche to have as an actor. It's something I definitely look up to, and something I definitely hope to have um, eventually. Who is your favorite female actor? Meryl Streep. um, yeah, Meryl Streep. What is your favorite movie of all time? Um, Children of Men by Alfonso Cuarón is an amazing, amazing movie. Not only does it have it's kind of set like post-apocalyptic, but the eerie thing is everybody's still alive. The only apocalyptic thing that's happened is that for some weird reason, whether ordained by God or what, in this movie, nobody is able to have children anymore. So it's this really crazy feeling, that feeling of being on a subway and you feel alone, but there's people completely surrounding you and in your space. It's that kind of feeling that just is really explored in this movie in every aspect, um, from the character development, of course, to how the shots are presented, which is amazing. There's this one specific spot where they're in a car, they're in a scene, they're pulling away, and this is 360 pan going on. Amazing. Slow mo, not slow motion, but it's a slow pan. So you see this drastic action, all of this crazy action happening, and it's in this, like, you're just waiting for it to just pan a little bit further because you hear these noises. And you're like, what the fuck is that? Kind of thing. Amazing, amazing movie. Would you support a project like this on Kickstart.com? Yes. Yeah, I totally would. I really, really honestly believe that it's definitely time, especially since the internet is starting to be used now for a checks and balance with that kind of stuff. I feel it. I don't understand why it didn't happen a lot sooner. Um, Maybe it's just our generation waking up. uh, but I'm really glad that it's happening. I mean, for so long it would just be like there's all this money in Hollywood, and it's gonna go to the movies that we pick, or maybe it might do the indie route, and it has to work so hard just to get there, kind of thing. I really, really, honestly think it's like fantastic that now there's a new venue happening. That now we can do casting like this. That now we can do and set up this kind of thing. Um, Amazing. So yes, of course I would support this. Um, all right. Well, Oscar Cabrera auditioning for The End is